Alright, today I'm going to do a review of the Kymco Race King 180. So first, what I'd like to do is look at the equipment, and that's one of the strong suits of this bike. It's better equipped than pretty much anything else that you can buy for this money. So the obvious, you start out at the front. We have upside down forks. We have dual 2-piston brakes. It's very rare to see dual front discs in the front on a scooter. So that's really nice. It's water cooled. It's 180 cc. In this class, you have the S Max, which is also water cooled, but it's only 155 cc. This particular model has what they call a moto cam in the front here. It records everything that happens, puts it on a little SD card, and so if you have any issues, if you have an accident, then you have that recorded there. I quite like the dash. It has a tachometer, which I'm not really sure why you need a tachometer on a scooter, but it has it. It has a temperature gauge, which I really like, because when you're dealing with small engines, sometimes you have to push them hard going up hills, and I like to know where my temperatures are at. It's also, as you can see here, it has ABS, and that's one of the main reasons I picked this model, because I actually bought this for my dad to ride when he comes here, and he really wanted ABS. I've tested out the rear. It operates about as you would expect. I have not tested the front. I generally don't try to lock up the front, so I'm sure it's fine. Alright, so let's start out by talking about the engine. The engine is 180 cc, water cooled, and it's strong. When you come off a red light, the initial pickup isn't as strong as it could be. The CVT is geared for gas mileage and smoothness, and not so much performance. Now, once you're moving, you blow away from the other scooters. It's a very strong engine. If I'm going to nitpick, this seems to be a Kymco thing. I've ridden other Kymcos and they do the same thing. At idle and up to 20 kilometers an hour, they shake. There's some vibration and harshness, and it's definitely noticeable, but it is just a little bit nitpicking. But I'm just being honest. It's something I notice that Yamahas don't do. The suspension is strong, it's well damped, it's in control. You can hustle down a back road and it doesn't complain. It feels happy, it feels planted. Especially at higher speeds, it feels really good. At higher speeds, the weight of the scooter makes it feel quite planted and well controlled. The brakes are strong. They stop the bike very quickly. The initial bite is really strong and possibly a little too much if you're used to just a regular scooter. I think it has to do with the extra pad area of the dual discs. The brakes are always enough. The ABS works well, and it gives you the confidence to stop quickly with no problems, no dramas. When you're hustling down a back road, you can charge in and not worry, because you've got the strong brakes, you've got the ABS, and they're very confidence inspiring. Now, if I want to nitpick a little bit, the feel in the front is a bit wooden. I would prefer a little bit more travel in the front lever. I'm comparing it to Brembo's and Nissan's and Japanese brakes. For Kymco brakes, they're quite good, but I feel like it could have a little more feel. The rear brakes have plenty of feel. I think it has to do with the dual front brakes. They didn't size the master cylinder quite right. And so that's the one nitpick I have on the brakes. But compared to the other brakes on other scooters, they are great. They are very strong. So all in all, it's a great scooter. It rides great. For the price, you cannot beat this. Now, it is quite a large bike, as I mentioned before. So, just to demonstrate, when I stand here, my butt isn't automatically on the seat, and I'm not a short person. So, when I'm maneuvering it at a stop, it does feel heavy, and it does take some effort. So, when you're in the city, when you're parking, when you're maneuvering around, you do feel that weight, and it just depends on what you want. The weight makes it feel planted and smooth at speed, but at a stop, it's a disadvantage. The tall seat brings the weight up, and compared to other scooters, the weight is quite high, and you can feel that at a stop. When you go to move it, when you take it off the stand, you do realize you're handling a bigger scooter. So this scooter falls in between the 150s, the 125s, and the bigger maxi scooters. And it is a nice medium in between. I have not ridden maxi scooters. I can't really compare it to that, but I can tell it physically it's quite a lot smaller. The pass-through. This is one of the things that I really like about the medium-sized scooters as opposed to maxi scooters. You still have this pass-through for your feet and for anything you want to put here. Now, this is more of a touring bike, so who is going to want to ride this? Bigger, taller riders. People who feel like the standard 125 is too small for them. If you're a little racer boy, get another bike. Get a Cygnus X or something like that. This is not a racer bike. I feel like the Race King name is a bit of a misnomer. It's not a Race King. If you want to go race, get a smaller bike, get a 150 and then mod it. I can't really compare it to the S-Max at the moment, but I will try and get a hold of an S-Max in the future and do a comparison test, because I think those two bikes are the bikes to have in this segment. They really are the only bikes in this segment. And so far, I'm really happy with the Kymco, and it's well equipped, and it's a great choice for those taller people who want just a little bit more go. If you're carrying a pillion a lot, it rides really well two up. It's in control, it's planted, unlike some of the smaller scooters that are a little bit scary when you get two riders on them. This feels really good two up. And so if you do a lot of touring with two people, this is a great bike for you to have.